Following a commanding first start as a Brave, Gavin Floyd takes his second turn tonight in the Major League's top rotation. And he'll face a Giants club that swept the Braves in Atlanta and carries the most wins this season in all of baseball. A National League rivalry renewed. It's the Braves and Giants, the battle by the Bay. Game 1 is tonight here on Sports South.
Tony Bennett may have left his heart in San Francisco, but Joe and Chip left their sweaters in Atlanta. It is scorching hot in San Francisco. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s as we greet you from beautiful AT&T Park. All year long, Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff below price every day. Another sellout crowd is gathering for Game 1 of our 3-game series, and the wind is blowing out. Should be a fun night for baseball tonight in San Francisco. Hi again, friends. Joe Simpson, Chip Carey. Welcome to the city by the Bay, where the Braves have a bit of revenge on their mind. The Giants swept us back in Atlanta, and San Francisco has won 7 of 10. The Braves coming off a sweep of their own against the Chicago Cubs, and now send Gavin Floyd to the mound in the series opener in his second start as a Brave.
Boy, Gavin surprised everybody, I think, with his first outing after Tommy John surgery. He was brilliant in his first start in an Atlanta Braves uniform. 7 innings, just gave up 1 run. He walked a couple of guys, but that's even surprising given that he hadn't pitched in so long. He got a couple of double plays turned behind him. In fact, he started one of the double plays himself, but he had a good fastball, but had his good curveball working as always, and a good sign for the Atlanta Braves rotation the way he's working, and hopefully will serve notice tonight to the San Francisco Giants that it won't be 4 in a row over Atlanta.
The Giants are in first place in large part because of their pitching staff. Every starter except one has pitched more than 6 innings in a game this year. The man that hasn't done that is the man that pitches for them tonight, a very inconsistent former Cy Young winner, Tim Lincecum.
He's been getting beat up by everybody except the Atlanta Braves. When he pitched against Atlanta at Turner Field, he went 6 innings and only gave up 1 run, and yet he walked 3 guys. Braves had base runners all over the place. They couldn't cash in, couldn't get a big hit with runners in scoring position. You're also seeing an example of some guys swinging at some really bad pitches from Lincecum, and that's been a part of what his problem has been, his lack of command. So we'll see if that exists again tonight.
Lots of things to talk about in the major leagues. A big story from the National League East, and we'll get the NL News and Notes segment for you right after this.
feel like anybody, you feel like you have success against them. You just want to keep it simple, kind of keep going up there, getting a good pitch to hit, and try not to miss those. I do know he has a lot of pitches to put you away with once he gets ahead, but at the same time, you just got to take what he gives you.
Giants, always great to see Braves fans throughout the country. Welcome back to AT&T Park. I'm Tom Hart. Jason Hayward's back by the Bay. He didn't make this trip last year because he was on the disabled list, and this is a ballpark that he loves hitting at. In fact, he has the highest batting average in baseball here at AT&T Park at .395. But it's not just this ballpark. It's also the pitchers. Two-time Cy Young Award winner Tim Lincecum has had trouble with Hayward throughout his career. And while Lincecum isn't having the season that was expected, Hayward's been all smiles when he gets a chance to hit against him. This is our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot. Against Lincecum, Jason Hayward's hitting .353 with an on-base percentage of .500. And his last 26 games against the Giants, he's hitting .306 with 6 home runs and 14 driven in. Hayward went yard in the 7th inning yesterday. It snapped a homerless drought of 106 at-bats. He wants to keep that going today. Another long shot like he had at Turner Field. That baseball could end up wet here by the Bay. It's the first of 3 between the Giants and Braves. Tim Lincecum goes for the Giants. Gavin Floyd once again for the Braves. When we return, Chip and Joe will have a look at the lineups. And first pitch coming up late on the West Coast.
Our one and only trip to AT&T Park. The Braves riding a 3-game sweep over the Chicago Cubs have this Toyota lineup presented by skipper Freddie Gonzalez. Chris Johnson having a terrific month of May. You heard Tom talk about Hayward's luck in this ballpark. Ramiro Pena, the starting second baseman tonight. He'll hit 9th behind pitcher Gavin Floyd.
Tim Lincecum's on the mound for his 8th start of the year. Take a look at these numbers. 2nd worst ERA in the National League. 2nd worst opponent average against him at .329, and the worst whip. That's average hits and walks per inning pitched. That's 1.71. That's really high by comparison to some good numbers which are in the low ones. Base runners abounded for the Braves in Atlanta. They just couldn't push runs across.
.73 degrees at first pitch at 7:15 Pacific time in San Francisco.
His 4 keys tonight. Well, a combo at the top. Leadoff men are hitting .500 against him. Jason Hayward, as Tom just told you, has been wearing him out in his career. That's a bad combination. And number 2, his lack of fastball command has been hurting him and having to pitch behind in the count a lot.
I thought you made a great point in our opening comments about Tim Lincecum. Yes, he got the win, but no, his control was not real good. The Braves were awfully impatient against Lincecum back in Atlanta.
Swung at a lot of bad pitches.
That was a good pitch, and Hayward tipped it for strike 2.
His fastball velocity is really down from what it was when he won his 2 Cy Young awards as well. Low 90s compared to 95 or 96. Split finger pitch, curve, and a change.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Jason Hayward. Now a full count. And a good start for the Braves. Lincecum walks Jason Hayward.
Make him work. Make him throw pitches. Don't chase the bad ones. After he beat Atlanta at Turner Field, he went to Pittsburgh and didn't get into the fifth inning. 4 innings, 8 hits, a couple of walks, 4 runs, and took the loss against the Pirates.
The Giants game summary, Joe, said that Lincecum threw 7 straight balls to start the game and gave up 6 2-strike hits in that game against the Pirates. A far cry from his work in Atlanta. So Braves country has to be thrilled with Hayward walking to start the game, and even more thrilled that Justin Upton's back in the lineup. With a collision with Rizzo and the hit by pitch against the Cubs, and the long airplane ride west last night. But Justin's ready to go tonight and takes the ball in the dirt.
Well, he'd also like to atone for a really bad series against the Giants in Atlanta. 1 for 11 with 7 strikeouts. And add to that 2 for his last 23 against Lincecum, going back a couple of years with 9 strikeouts.
He was swinging for the fences and didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is one of the great pitchers' parks in the National League. It'll be interesting, I think, to see how it plays tonight. The wind is blowing straight out towards center. Now a ball and 2 strikes.
Braves got a couple of runs yesterday for the first time in a long time. He got 2 runs in the 2nd inning on their way to the win on the Cubs.
That's toward third. Sandoval to second 1. Hicks the turn for 2. So Lincecum gets a big ground ball and the double play to clear the bases in front of Freddie Freeman. Freddie starts tonight's series at 302. 6 homers. He's knocked in 20. After the torrid start by Freeman, which saw him hitting around 400 over his first 17 games, he's at 211 in his last 19.
A lot of that is inclusive of his eye issues, which started right at the beginning of the homestand and was against the Giants. He went only 2 for 11 in that series, but he was really battling the dry eye problem that gradually improved in the homestand.
Up the middle, and Crawford had Freeman played absolutely perfectly. Lincecum issues a leadoff walk, got a double play and a ground out to short to send this game to the home first, scoreless. tonight in San Francisco for the Braves and the Giants. San Francisco fresh off a terrific road trip. They went 7-3 on the road and beat 3 teams that made the playoffs last year. So a very impressive homecoming for them. And Atlanta will have to tangle with Brandon Crawford in at shortstop. One noticeable absence, Brandon Belt, their young first baseman, will have surgery on his thumb tomorrow. He broke his thumb. He's out 6 to 8 weeks for the Giants.
We'll see how that affects their lineup up and down. Gavin Floyd on the mound against the Giants in his career 2-0 with a 2.25 ERA, but the last time he faced them, as you see, was in 2008. He's coming off a great start against St. Louis, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run allowed. This is his second start since Tommy John surgery. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. This is a good fastball hitting club, so use your off-speed stuff, especially that great curveball of yours. And can he repeat? Can he repeat his mechanics and everything that was so successful against the Cardinals in his second start here?
Boy, he really was impressive, wasn't he?
I think he surprised everybody at how efficient he was and how sharp he was.
His first pitch tonight is a strike to Angel Pagan. It was fun talking to Gavin the next day. He said, man, am I sore. But he said it was a very good kind of sore, quite obviously. Another breaking ball has Pagan quickly behind 0-2. He thought that might have been a high strike. Ron Topa, by the way, is the home plate umpire.
Angel Pagan got that series started in Atlanta with a leadoff homer in the first inning, and the Giants never looked back.
And on 3 pitches, Pagan is retired on strikes. And he has a parting shot at Ron Culpa. 1 up, 1 down.
Well, that's a good start for several different reasons, but one in particular, that Angel Pagan, when he gets a hit, the Giants are 20-7. When he does not, they're 4-7. So keeping him off the bases could be a key to a win tonight for Floyd.
Here's the man with the +4s for the Giants, Hunter Pence. And he swings the first pitch and drives it to deep right. That's playable for Hayward on the warning track. And quickly 2 are out. Here's Pablo Sandoval. The Giants have to be thrilled with the fact that they're in first place, Joe, despite getting almost no production at all from their switch hitting third baseman.
I just can't imagine it's going to last that long. I mean, we're 6 weeks into the season and he's under 200, but had a 3-hit game yesterday against the Dodgers, his first of the year. And with Belt out and Posey not playing tonight, he's moved up to the 3 spot.
And he rips one into right field, and Sandoval might be heating up.
Well, it just tells you how much confidence that Bruce Bochy has in him by putting him in the 3 hole with Posey out tonight, because he's too good a hitter to hit 189. And a fastball there, you see what he did to it.
You said this is a good fastball hitting team. And Floyd gives up the hit on his number 1, and it brings up Michael Morse. Morse getting his first start of the year at first base tonight for the Giants. Belt has been their normal starter there. Buster Posey plays a lot of first base, but they're giving Posey the night off. Morse at first, and Tyler Colvin gets the start in the outfield.
Morse did not have a good road trip, but he did have some good games in Atlanta, including a couple of homers. He was only 7 for 35 on that trip.
Laird smothered that behind the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. When the Giants were in Atlanta, we told you all about their struggles offensively last year. The Giants were next to last in the National League in home runs. They hit just 107 of them as a team. The Giants come in tonight having hit 45 homers in the season's first 6 weeks. And the addition of Michael Morse has a lot to do with that. I think Gerald Laird may have lost his thumb protector.
Gavin had a couple of those in his first start where a couple pitches just got away from him.
Two balls, one strike. So Morse playing first base tonight in place of Brandon Belt. Here's how he got hurt.
From Paul Maholm, the former Brave. Broken thumb, surgery tomorrow.
Ground ball to second. It's bobbled, but recovered. And the throw to first in time takes care of Morse. The Giants pick up the game's first hit, but leave Sandoval stranded. A 9-pitch start for Gavin Floyd tonight.
Baseball is presented by AT&T Uverse, Delta Airlines, and Ford.
Is there a more picturesque city in America than San Francisco?
Be hard to argue.
And what a spectacularly beautiful day today. And we're expecting warm weather this entire series as Chris Johnson goes to work and looks at a pitch outside. Chris done good work on the road, as you see on the Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard.
Third in the league behind Uribe and Lucroy. And he's on a good run. Had a good game again yesterday. He's hitting 5 straight, hit 343 on the homestand.
One ball, one strike from Lincecum. That darted down and away. Chris didn't get it. It's now 1-2.
It used to be with Lincecum when he was in his heyday with winning back-to-back Cy Young awards. He pretty much got by the fastball changeup. He threw a few breaking balls, but his changeup was so good off his mid-90s fastball, that's about all he needed. Now it's like his fastball is an accent to everything else. A lot of off-speed and junk.
That pitch at 91, and Johnson fought it off. I'm not suggesting that Tim didn't know how to pitch when he won his Cy Young awards in the early days of his career, but I would imagine that's a hard thing to do now with 3-4 miles an hour off your fastball. Bouncing ball towards short. Crawford is a slick fielder. He made an easy play. Here's out number one. You look at Lincecum's career record. He was state of the art his first 5-6 years in the big leagues, but since 2012, it has really been an uphill fight for the Giants right-hander. And Somehow, some way, Joe, they signed him to a 2-year contract extension for very big money here.
Yeah, and his ERA almost twice, or 2 runs higher than what it was from 07 to 11. Quite a change. And the story is that he rented a warehouse in Seattle over the wintertime, built a mound, and really worked on his fastball command. That's one of the things that he did, whereas before he didn't throw much in the winter. And in the start of spring training, there was evidence of that. He was spotting his fastball pretty well, has not translated to the regular season.
1 ball, 1 strike for catcher Gerald Laird, who didn't get that pitch. It's 1-2. Tim's physical exploits are well known. I mean, this is a guy that's very flexible. He can stand and do backflips in front of you. I mean, he's a remarkable, if not freakish, athlete. But he is not a big man. He's 5'11", 170 pounds soaking wet. And there's some good placement. He caught Laird looking. And that's his first strikeout of the night. 2 outs.
Struck out 4 against the Braves at Turner Field. Dropped that hook in there beautifully. Nice off-speed pitch. But again, in his 6 innings, he gave up 6 hits and 3 walks. Braves had a lot of guys on base.
B.J. Upton with the bases empty. B.J.'s in a dry spell. He's got 4 hits in his last 26 at-bats and has struck out 12 times in that stretch. So his batting average tonight starts at .202.
Braves left 8 men on base in his 6 innings on May 2nd.
Strikes among Lincecum's 26 pitches so far. He's got Upton behind in the count. And he ends the inning with a swinging strikeout. 3 up, 3 down in the Atlanta second inning. Lincecum looked sharp. Gavin Floyd tries to answer in the home second. Save up to 40% with the Taco Mac center field steal. Get an outfield seat and a $5 Taco Mac gift card for just $15 every Wednesday. Go to Braves.com/ticket specials to get this amazing ticket deal. Well, walking around downtown San Francisco today, there were Braves fans everywhere wearing their tomahawks proudly, and there are a bunch of them at the ballpark tonight.
Like all roads lead to AT&T Park, looking at that sign. And why not? Beautiful ballpark, great setting. Wonderful fans. They have a string of 261 consecutive sellouts, which is the most in the major leagues currently. They won 2 World Series out of the last 4 years.
And somehow I think they're really flying under the radar in the National League. Hector Sanchez is the Giants catcher. And he takes a strike. Did I read the note correctly about him? He's 0 for his last 30? Is that what their note said today?
I didn't see that. I thought he was red hot, actually.
No, it was 10 for his last 30.
There you go.
I was going to say, if he's 0 for 30 and playing, we got a problem.
It's funny how that one in front of that makes all the difference.
It's astounding. 1 ball, 1 strike for Hector Sanchez. And the breaking ball tied him up. He's behind now, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Couple of homers, 16 RBIs for Mr. Sanchez. A night off for Georgia native Buster Posey. The way he hits the Braves, that's always welcome. Bochy, the Giants manager. And now the 2-2. That's tipped and caught by Gerald Laird. So Gavin Floyd takes care of Sanchez for the 2nd strikeout of the night.
Boy, what a nice pitch. Change up. And look how that thing is diving down and away. Good start.
If you had to pick a poster boy for the underrated San Francisco Giants, he might be the guy in the batter's box. Their shortstop Brandon Crawford put on a show in Atlanta. Made a couple of highlight-worthy plays. As you mentioned, hit a couple of homers. And this season hitting .261 for the year.
He had the 2 home run game in the finale of the series. And accounted for 3 of their 4 runs.
Popped up. And that's going to be grabbed by Everton Simmons, who calls off Pena. Crawford pops out, and there's the 2nd out of the inning. This is Tyler Colvin, former Chicago Cub and Colorado Rocky. Our first look at him in Giants colors.
Man, when this guy broke in with the Cubs, I thought he was going to be their right fielder for a very long time. It's kind of an heir apparent to Sammy Sosa. His first full year with the Cubs, he had a tremendous year. And I believe the following year, or maybe during that full year, Lou Piniella became the manager, and I don't think Lou was a big fan of his, and his career went downhill from there.
Last year, an injury-plagued season for Tyler, who's from North Augusta, South Carolina. Went to Clemson, as you know. Played in just 27 games for the Rockies in midsummer. Hit .160, then had back problems.
What about that first full year with the Cubs? What were the numbers?
First full year, 20 homers, 56 RBIs. And he unloads deep to right. And Jason Hayward's going to admire that one. Tyler Colvin has hit a homer into McCovey Cove. It's 1-0 Giants. His first hit as a Giant ends up wet. And boy, they've got the solo homer play worked to perfection against the Braves.
Well, they're in the top 2 or 3 in the league in homers. He's just added to it. There was no doubt about it. That went a long way.
So San Francisco strikes first, and Brandon Hicks is the hitter. He too has hit a bunch of homers, including one against Clayton Kershaw yesterday. Hicks has 7 homers for the year. One ball, one strike. Well, Tyler Colvin knows how to hit balls into waterways. In 2011, he had a 451 homer that one-hopped into the Allegheny River in Pittsburgh. And a swing and a miss takes care of Hicks. Tyler Colvin, the former Clemson Tiger, launches one into the waters of McCovey Cove, and the Giants strike first in the second. Hit for Tyler Colvin is a long home run to put the Giants up 1-0. Andrelton Simmons ready to lead off the third for the Braves, and his bobblehead night is coming up on Thursday, May 22nd. That's presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. The first 20,000 fans get to take home this one-of-a-kind souvenir. Get your tickets today at Braves.com or by phone at 800-745-3000. So Tim Lincecum is staked to an early lead of 1-0. Simmons, Floyd, and Ramiro Pena coming up for the Braves here in the third.
Andrelton had a base hit off Lincecum his first time up in Atlanta, but after that he was also one of those guys that chasing some pitches that weren't there and certainly weren't in the strike zone.
Bounced foul at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bit of dirt might have popped up between the bars of the mask for Sanchez. Late swing. Simmons was tied up, and he'll be thrown out at first.
He got caught looking for another off-speed pitch.
3 straight strikeouts for Lincecum.
See how late Anderson was after. This is what happens to you when you're looking fastball or looking breaking ball and don't get it. That was the pitch before.
Gavin Floyd hits. And he takes a strike.
Talked about Tehran working in the game a couple of days ago where the Braves gave him the lead against the Cubs, and how few innings he had pitched with the lead. This is only the 10th inning that Lincecum's pitched with the lead all year.
Really? Wow. And he's found his rhythm. Lincecum with 4 strikeouts. He has struck out the last 4 Braves hitters. And now Ramiro Pena bats. He's the number 9 hitter on the lineup tonight. Two homers, 4 RBIs for Pena. It's taken a little low. 1 ball, no strikes. Talking with Freddie Gonzalez about Pena and Pastornicky. He likes the idea of those guys at the bottom of the lineup because of the myriad things they can do with a baseball bat. They can get a bunt down. They can hit and run, as we saw Pastornicky. Can squeeze. A few more weapons for Freddie Gonzalez with those 2 men hitting 9th.
And they can run, too.
Good point.
Pastornicky's faster than Pena, but you get them on base ahead of Hayward and BJ, or Justin. You got a chance to drive them in from first base with a double, too.
So tonight it's Pena's turn to play. And he awaits a 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. And that buzzed the tower. That might be peak fastball right there for Lincecum. 91.
See what he throws here. 3-1. His fastball command is still off. Yep, that's what they're going with.
And he missed outside. So 2 walks for Tim tonight. He walked Hayward. He's walked Pena. Now Jason hits with a man aboard in the 3rd.
And both walks were on fastballs.
So is the game far enough along that you can eliminate a pitch for Lincecum yet?
Well, I think you almost have to expect him to pitch you backwards. Early in the count, slow off-speed stuff, maybe fastballs later, but there's an off-speed pitch on the first pitch. And just make yourself wait until you get behind in the count. Try not to get frustrated. Sorry, Chip. Try not to get frustrated if you're looking off speed and he throws you a fastball for a strike. Stay with your plan.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Breaking ball. Good one, too. Dropped right on the back point of the plate, and Jason over the top of it with a big swing. This has been a kind park to Jason Hayward, as Tom told you in the pregame comments. Higher average here than any active player at almost 400 for an average, and good numbers against Lincecum.
6 for 17 lifetime as Jason against Lincecum. He had a good rip at that pitch and fouled it straight back. 1 and 2 strikes.
6 for 17 and now 6 walks. Long balls mixed in here at this park, too. Not an easy home run park.
The 1-2 pitch. Runner goes. And a bouncing ball foul past first.
I like that. I like sending the guy there on a 1-2 count. If Jason gets a pitch that he doesn't have to swing at and they wind up throwing Pena out, well, you get Jason back up there leading off the next inning with a fresh count. And if he steals second base, you're in good shape.
Not going this time, and Hayward didn't get it. 90-mile-an-hour fastball strikes out Jason Hayward. Lincecum has 5 strikeouts through 3 innings and a 1-0 lead. Woodrum gets to the ballpark.
I thought that looked like Judge Smale's crap.
Well, Joe. Brian, get your foot off the boat. All season long, Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. Hey, the University of Georgia's Terry College of Business has a group out at the ballpark here tonight. They were welcomed on the big scoreboard a few moments ago. As Tim Lincecum leads off the San Francisco third, and Floyd jumps ahead of him.
You mentioned the wind earlier tonight, Chip, and that's not to take anything away from Tyler Colvin, who really jumped on the fastball for the home run. But it is, I see the wind whipping some pant legs on ball players, too. Blowing straight out toward right center.
You've been coming to San Francisco how long?
First time was 75.
Can you remember the weather this warm this time of year?
Nope. Nope. Sure can't. In fact, you know, the players, I mean, this is not the middle of the summer by any means, but they used to talk about how they like coming to San Francisco in the middle of the summer as a respite, you know, to kind of get a refresher from the cool air and pleasant summer breezes. Well, this is Georgia-like here tonight, and by Wednesday afternoon for the day game, it's going to be downright hot.
In fact, I think I read on the weather pages, as Lincecum fouls one away, it will actually be cooler in St. Louis than San Francisco for the Braves on this road trip.
Yeah, I don't think the weather's going to be very good there.
And I'll be asking you ever come to St. Louis and it's this cold in May?
Yeah, what a reversal.
Man, oh man. The 2-2 pitch. And Lincecum swung late. He's down on a 92-mile-an-hour heel. Floyd has his 4th strikeout. 9 strikeouts combined by the starter so far tonight. One away.
Gavin looks good again. Made a mistake. He got under a fastball a little bit and pushed it up in the zone to Colvin, and he hit it out. But otherwise, looks good.
Angel Pagan now at 312 for the year. And a liner past Chris Johnson, who was in on the grass. So Pagan has the third San Francisco hit, and that stat you mentioned does not bode well. He's 1 for 2.
(20-7) when he gets a hit. And the Giants now 10 games over 500 entering play tonight. 10-5 here in their home park.
And swung at the first pitch his first time up. He took a strike here in the third.
This is such an interesting guy. I talked to him before the game by the cage, and I said, all right, tell me about your attire here, wearing your NFL wide receiver pants with your pants tucked up above your knees. I said, I like it. And he said, no, really? You really like it? I said, yeah, it's different. I said, but why? And he said, well, I get a lot of scrapes and scabs on my knees just below the kneecap. So when I wear my pant legs with the elastic down there just below the knees, it's irritating and rubs on the scabs. So I thought, well, this is an alternative. So I hiked the elastic above my knees, and all of a sudden, you know what? That felt pretty good. Feels free. My legs feel free, not tied up.
Yeah, where do you find socks long enough to?
I don't know.
No balls, 2 strikes. And a bouncy ball to the right side. Pena will flip to Simmons. Awkward feed. And the stretch by Freeman. Not long enough to get Pence at first. The Braves do force the lead runner Pagan 2 out.
That was an awkward feed that got Andrelton in some trouble with the base runner, but it wasn't all Pena's fault. This was slowly hit, a little bit of an in-between hop. Ramiro had to go to his left to get it, so it was a long backhanded toss. It needed to be hit harder for them to have a chance there.
Keep an eye on Pence. He's got 6 steals on the year, and Sandoval's the hitter. He singled his first time up.
Another good changeup.
Sandoval's a 2-time National League All-Star, MVP of the 2012 World Series. He hit 3 homers in Game 1 of the 2012 Fall Classic.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
And turned down a big contract offer from the Giants. There are some who speculate that that's been weighing on his mind in the first weeks of the season.
Well, he got himself in good shape. There for a while he had ballooned up. But as soon as, again, he's on a tear right now and gets his average back up, those talks might resume. Got a 1-2 count on him right now. And this year, with 2 strikes on him, he's 3 for 63 with 29 Ks. So it doesn't sound like he's been making a whole lot of adjustments behind in the count. But he is up off the knob of the bat a little bit.
Foul fouled that one straight back. I mentioned his batting average struggles for the Giants. Sandoval has knocked in 1 run in a month.
Wow.
This is a .298 major league hitter for his career.
2 of those came yesterday. Well, you say one
RBI since April 16th. 1-2 pitch. By that, I think the Giants mean knocked in someone other than himself.
Well, he's knocked in 1 RBI since April 16th before yesterday.
Yeah. Right. So, the big game against the Dodgers, and the hit tonight has Bruce Bochy thinking Sandoval's ready to heat up like the weather here in Frisco.
And Sabian, the GM of the Giants, in your picture.
Did you have these guys in first place in this division?
No, but if there was a team to watch in the division, they were certainly it, because of the addition of Tim Hudson and the addition of Michael Morse. There's some more power to their lineup that they had needed from last year.
And Sandoval's 2 strike troubles continue against Gavin Floyd here in the 3rd. The Giants strand Hunter Pence. The Braves are down a run as we head to the 4th inning, and Justin Upton leads our Delta Airlines on deck trio next. Uverse trivia question tonight. As you see, Brandon Hicks, he has 7 homers this year. Who was the last Giants second baseman with a 25 homer year?
Jeff Kent, wouldn't it?
That'd be his first name that came to mind.
It's almost too obvious.
Justin Upton leads off and takes a little low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Lincecum's just 3 for 11 on first pitch strikes. But his last 5 outs have all been strikeouts.
That streak will end as Crawford handles it short. Tricky hop, but a good play. Upton is out number 1. Here's Freddie. Freeman has also bounced out to short, so he's 0 for 1 in the game. Braves have had 2 base runners tonight. 2 walks, 1 to Hayward, 1 to Ramiro Pena. Ground ball to first. Morse will take that to the bag easily. 2 out. Lincecum has not had to work too hard yet. He's about to make his 48th pitch, and he'll make it to Chris Johnson. outside corner. Strike one to Chris. Say this from my vantage point, I don't think he's thrown anything straight yet.
It's hard to think that that he's getting away with the off-speed stuff. They're good pitches. They're down. He hasn't hung anything yet. You can see Sanchez there wanting this one in the dirt.
One ball, two strikes. Base is empty in the Braves' fourth. That missed badly. It's now 2-2.
I was trying to go in there and miss badly, as you said, but I don't know if he's doubled up on location once tonight. I don't know, especially with the fastball, if he would go back in there. Let's see what they want to do. Breaking ball.
Now Johnson, a full count. Five-game hit streak for Chris. 10 hits in his last 20 at-bats. We showed you his good work on the road. Let's see what he can do with payoff pitch. Not much. Lincecum has his sixth strikeout. 3 up, 3 down in the Atlanta fourth on 9-pitch inning for Lincecum. He leads 1-0 with a Heart of the Giants order up next. Tally so far tonight. And fans, for a limited time, purchase $150 or more on women's apparel and products at the Braves Clubhouse store and get a free Alex and Annie bracelet while supplies last. For more details, stop by the Braves Clubhouse store at CNN Center or call 404-523-5854.
Gavin Floyd and the defense got to hold them right there. Get the offense back up there to see what they can do against Lincecum. Just went next door talking to Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow, broadcasters for the Giants. They said this is the best Lincecum's breaking ball has been all year.
That's not good news.
Well, the results show that it is. Backs up what they say.
for whatever reason, Lincecum's always had good luck against the Braves. 8-6 lifetime, a .289 earned run average, and that good game back in Atlanta on May the 2nd. He's held the Braves hitless through 4 tonight. Leads 1-0 from Michael Morse. How about that swing? Freeman will flip to Floyd at the bag, and there's the first out.
Couldn't get his bat out of the way. Look at that ball run in. A little excuse me swing.
So Morse 2 for his last 22. He's the first out of the inning. And here is Hector Sanchez. Sanchez struck out in the second. He ropes one down the right field line. Foul. That's headed for the seats. Or the lofts.
That's down there in the opera box.
No balls and a strike. This really is an amazing ballpark, built on such a tiny parcel of land here in the China Basin area of San Francisco. Very, very intimate baseball setting. Broken bat pop, and Floyd is there to make the play. Sanchez broke his bat, and the barrel ends out by Ramiro Pena at second base. 2 outs.
Sawed him off. Trying to find the barrel and then tried to find the baseball.
Two outs for Crawford. That one's off the end of the bat up the middle. Simmons glides and guns and gets his man. Good play by Andrelton Simmons. And it's Gavin Floyd's turn to have an easy inning. He got 3 outs on 6 pitches. And this game heads to the 5th inning, where the Giants lead 1-0. Okay. We showed you how our producer got to the ballpark. That's how Joe and I got to the ballpark today.
Yeah, we got on that tanker at about 7 this morning and got here just in time for the game.
Strike one to Gerald Laird. It takes one in the dirt and an even count. Our statistician upstairs, Jeff Chapman, tells us about this wonderful baseball facility downtown in San Francisco and the remarkable things it's done for this part of the town. As that ball skied toward right, and Hunter Pence is there, and that's the first flyout allowed by Lincecum tonight. One man down. We were amazed just getting to the ballpark today at how much this part of town has changed just in the 6, 7, 8 years we've been coming to this place.
And a lot of it residential with high-rise condos and apartments. Beautiful area that wasn't so beautiful before the ballpark got here.
And it's our understanding, as B.J. Upton hits, that the Golden State Warriors of the NBA are going to be getting a new arena that's just a couple of blocks away from the ballpark.
They'll be moving across the bay from Oakland
with mass transit and very convenient ways to get here. As Upton rips one to deep left, will this one carry out? It will carry out. B.J. Upton has hit a solo home run, and the Braves have tied the Giants here in the 5th inning.
He does some things with pitches down and in that are just, you wonder, how did he do that? It looked like a breaking ball, but I'm not sure. Let's see. But down and in, it was supposed to be a curveball that didn't curve. First mistake he made, and he made the mistake in B.J. Upton's wheelhouse. Down and in.
So the Braves have tied the game at 1. B.J. Upton's 3rd homer of the season.
And the first allowed by Lincecum in 4 starts.
Upton's 2nd homer of the month. His first was May 1st in Miami against Henderson Alvarez. Simmons ran around, and Lincecum ahead of him, 0-2. Sharply hit, and fan in the front row gets the souvenir. It's still 0-2.
That was kind of a similar pitch to the one BJ hit out. Breaking ball down and in. It is again.
Down the left field line and foul. Down by the Giants bullpen.
Yeah, almost an identical pitch again to the home run. That's not where Sanchez is setting up, nor where Lincecum wants to throw it, but that's where he's leaving it all of a sudden. No fly balls for 4 innings, and then a leadoff fly out to right and a homer.
And it's short. Crawford, quick release. 2 outs. Simmons made Lincecum work, but he's retired.
Is he limping a little bit? I think he was limping a little bit going in the dugout. Right by Freddie Gonzalez, who's changed into the dugout. He used to work for Bobby Cox on occasion. Change your luck.
Floyd had a good cut and popped it foul. Strike 1.
Another bad breaking ball.
He is living a charmed life here in the 5th, isn't he?
Which might explain the description of the Giants broadcasters about his breaking ball the first 4 innings, and now it was the best they'd seen all year.
That one snapped off, but Floyd took it low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gavin Floyd didn't get that pitch, and he strikes out. But the Braves score their first run of the night. B.J. Upton hits a line drive homer into the first row of the seats in left field to tie this game at 1 apiece. Bottom of the order up for the Giants in the 5th. It's a 1-1 game. That was off the bat of Tyler Colvin, who will lead things off for San Francisco in this home 5th inning. Let's check out what happened to Andrelton Simmons, who looked a little lame running down the first base line a moment ago.
As it turns out that this was a foul ball. He actually was kind of grabbing his back, maybe his lower back, and trying to stretch it out. And this was the actual ground out. Running hard. Then was really pulling up there and kind of favoring his leg, it looked like, but now we know it's more lower back.
He's back out at short and looks ready to go as Gavin Floyd finishes up his warm-up tosses. As we made our way to the ballpark tonight, Joe, some really horrible news in the National League East. Say what you will about the Miami Marlins and Jose Fernandez. News for the young right-hander appears not to be very good. He had an MRI on his right elbow, and there are some news outlets that are reporting he's going to have elbow surgery for the Marlins.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that. We all like watching him pitch. We know how valuable he is and how important he is to the Marlins franchise. I hope those reports were premature and that it's not as serious as all that. That would be a big blow to that team that's off to a real good start, playing good baseball.
Tyler Colvin is up for the Giants. Gavin Floyd missed outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
To give you an example of how good Gavin has been, he has not gone to a 3-ball count on any hitter, and in fact he's only gone to a 2-ball count on 4 hitters. He's around the plate and he's making the Giants swing the bat.
And earlier tonight I think he used the term, we were all surprised by Gavin Floyd. Not surprised at his talent.
No.
But after a long layoff, it's the touch and field pitches that you would think would be the last to come. That hasn't been the case for him.
Well, and as it turned out, his last outing in his rehab was his best. I think he gave up 1 run in 5 innings. So it was almost like everything kind of came together at once just before his major league start.
And he got Colvin to chase the ball out of the strike zone for his 6th strikeout of the game. 1 away in the 5th.
Well, needless to say, he's 31 years old. He's been in the big leagues. This is his 8th year. He knows how to pitch. He's been there, done that. And so long as he's healthy and can put that all to good use for himself, he's going to be tough.
Like that ratio too.
I think the surprise is, I don't know how many people expected him to be this good this quick. Baltimore took one in the helmet.
That's Marlon Deranciang. Third base ball dude tonight. And the ground ball to Simmons at short. He'll load up and make the peg first. That retires Hicks for out number 2.
Interesting note on Hicks as he trots back. He had a home run yesterday off of Clayton Kershaw on a breaking ball. And the claim is, and they've gone back and done all kinds of search, as I don't know who does such things, but the claim was that was the first home run off a Clayton Kershaw curveball out of his last 2,000 curveballs.
Ground ball to second.
Man, another fast inning.
You bet. 7 pitches this time for Floyd. He's got a tie game, and the 9-1 and 2 hitters are up for Atlanta as we go to the 6th. Are tied after 5. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag SouthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T.
Smiles on some Braves fans now, tied up 1-1.
There you go. Let's get the first win against San Francisco this year tonight.
I'll drink to that.
Here's Ramiro Pena. Pena walked back in the 3rd inning. And he takes a strike. Couple of finals in Major League play today. The Cubs took out some frustration on the Cardinals today. 17-5.
Wow.
Cubs won in St. Louis tonight.
It's one of the few times he's thrown back-to-back fastballs tonight.
One ball, one strike. And that really tied him up.
Yeah, another bad pitch. I think they may have figured out that he's having trouble hitting the spot down and away, or just even the outside corner to left-handed hitters, as John Smoltz said, arm side. So they're kind of looking for the ball middle in.
And Pena swung it back-to-back bad balls.
In that case, helmet high.
That's 8 strikeouts for Lincecum. And he's off to a good start in the 6th. Here's Hayward. Jason has walked and struck out. The 8 strikeouts for Lincecum is a season high.
Sanchez wanted that strike on the breaking ball.
They got that call to even it up. Little roller down the first base line. That's at the bag, and Morse can't get it. Baseball, the bag, the fielder, and the runner all arrived in the same spot at the same time, and Hayward is aboard.
That's Little League Baseball 101. You got to get to the ball before it gets to the bag. Better get your hand off the base too before Jason Hayward gets there.
Right off the bag. Maybe Morse thought it was a seagull. Used to play in the outfield here in San Francisco. So Hayward's at first with 1 out for Upton.
Kind of break during the Cubs series that the Braves took advantage of.
Strike 1. It's been a rough defensive inning for the Giants.
Oh man. Ball guy. First base knocked him right to his knees.
Upton tried to bunt. Popped it straight back foul. It's 0-2.
Wasn't a bad idea with Sanchez playing so deep, but now he's really in the hole 0-2.
Bullet foul. So Justin back to work with an 0-2 pitch.
Anybody with even the most minimal back issues can relate to Justin a couple of days ago when he had a collision with Rizzo and then got hit with a pitch. Went to some back spasms that knocked him out of the game and eventually out of yesterday's game, but then a 4.5-hour plane ride. Not fun. Looks like he's swinging free and easy, though. That doesn't mean he's not having a little pain.
Long at bat for Upton. The 1-2 pitch. Just inside. It's even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch count for Lincecum beginning to creep up. Upton about to see his 8th pitch of the at bat. And Lincecum struck him out.
He got away with that one. That was up. Eighth pitch at bat. Fastball that Lincecum was upset about the location of it. And threw that one and ducked. Oh man, a hanger. Somehow got away with it.
So 2 outs for Freddie Freeman with Hayward at first. I'm sure hitters hate to hear the expression, but I really believe it's true. Sometimes a pitch is so bad it's good.
Yeah.
That might have been the case with one that struck out Upton.
You can see Brandon Hicks playing deep at second base out on shallow right field. Interesting, I was watching him today during batting practice. He was actually taking ground balls there, just to get used to fielding the ball there in case one was hit his way, which it was earlier tonight from Freeman in the 4th inning.
And Brandon obviously so happy to see us that during BP he threw one back to his coach Tim Flannery that almost plunked us.
Yeah. Little payback. He's a great kid.
Having a good run for the Giants. 2 balls, no strikes. Crowd wanted that pitch for Lincecum. He didn't get it. Now, does Freeman have a 3-0 green light?
You bet. For something middle of the plate in. Now they've shifted Crawford over to play him to pull as well. Hicks is deeper and closer to the line.
And that's way outside for Freddie. 2 on, 2 out. Now the go-ahead run for Atlanta's in scoring position. And Chris Johnson comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Dave Righetti's the Giants pitching coach. He's lingering near the bullpen phone. Jason Hayward in the 6th inning is the first runner in scoring position for either club. Colvin homered in the 2nd. B.J. Upton homered in the 5th for the Braves.
It's hard to believe Lincecum has not thrown a pitch in the 7th inning all year in his first 7 starts.
One of the Braves' hottest hitters is the man in the batter's box, Chris Johnson, a 5-game hit streak. And he took a strike.
And Chris needs to stay with what was working in Atlanta and his inside-out swing. His first 2 at bats tonight, he's been way out in front on Lincecum, kind of out and around some of those off-speed pitches. In that series in Atlanta, when the Giants out-homered the Braves 7-0. Atlanta scored 1 run in each of the 3 games and have won tonight on a solo homer.
Now Lincecum way ahead in the count, 0-2. And he got it. Tim Lincecum has struck out 10 Braves. And he escapes trouble in the 6th. And we're still tied. Go Giants tonight. Shades of the old Tim Lincecum, or Joe, is it someone else?
I think it's Uncle Rico, no doubt. Oh my gosh. That's one of the funniest things I've seen all year right there.
Uncle Rico, of course, the star in Napoleon Dynamite, and Tim Lincecum, the star on the mound for the Giants. The 36th time in his career he has struck out 10 or more men, and the first time this year.
And I'll bet he can throw a baseball over that mountain.
So here we go. Top of the order in the San Francisco's 6th. Angel Pagan, Hunter Pence, and Pablo Sandoval. Gavin Floyd also dealing a beautiful game. He has struck out 6 men. And he has been extremely economical. He's gotten 6 outs over 2 innings on 13 pitches.
Just 55 pitches through the first 5 innings.
And a play foul to Pagan. It's 0-2. The Giants' run came on a 2-out solo homer in the second by Tyler Colvin. Floyd's had good luck in his career against San Francisco. 2-0 lifetime. Ball right side, flag down, and bobbled by Pena. He had it and lost the handle. So good start for the Giants. 6th inning leadoff man's aboard.
Just couldn't make the transfer. Actually, just the ball was kind of pinched out in the end of his fingers and thumb, and never really had it cleanly in the glove. Could be a base hit.
Base hit. It is. And here's Hunter Pence. Pence is 0 for 2. Runner goes. Good jump. The Laird throw is dropped and wouldn't have been in time anyway. So Pagan in scoring position, the first Giant to end up at second base, and he's got 7 steals.
Gavin was very slow to the plate on this first one. High leg kick, long arm action, and Gerald Laird didn't even bother to get to his feet. He just threw that from his knees to have any hope of getting Pagan. He really didn't have a chance.
So a new set of signs with a runner at second base for Gavin Floyd here. And now Pence with 10 RBIs looking for number 11. This guy's always been a terrific run producer, run scorer, but Hunter Pence hasn't been up to his usual tricks quite yet. He's hitting .240 this year with runners in scoring position. And Floyd kept that ball away from him. 2 balls and a strike.
The Giants, while they have done real well with runners in scoring position and 2 out, in fact, they're the best in the major leagues with a .278 average. They have not been good in this situation lately. In fact, they swept the Braves in Atlanta and went 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position. And they are just 38 for their last 197, which is a sub-200 average. 190s. 2 outs, they're clutching up. Before that, they're struggling just like Atlanta.
Well, they're clutching up there, too.
Yeah.
And how rare is it for the Giants to do what they did against Atlanta? It only happened once since 1969. They are hitless with runners in scoring position, yet swept a series. In 1969, San Diego Padres did that in the first ever series they played.
Well, at that stage, you know, when you just enter the major leagues, your expansion team, nobody told them they were supposed to.
Oh, is that how that works?
They quickly realized that was important.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Hunter Pence. And that's off the plate.
Yeah, that was a good take. His first 3-ball count, a good pitch just off the plate. And with Pence swinging at just about everything that's been thrown up there this at bat, he laid off that one.
Sandoval and Morse to follow. Big pitch. Full count to Pence. Nobody out. And he struck him out.
That was a great call. I don't know if that was from Gerald Laird or what Gavin Floyd wanted to do here, but he had chased and fouled off a ball up and in earlier in the at bat, and then that bad pitch that's just bad enough to be good, that breaking ball, that inside breaking ball that was up and in and tied him up.
So Gavin Floyd with 7 strikeouts. And here is Pablo Sandoval. He singled and has struck out. Pagan reached on an infield hit, promptly stole second base. Now he stands there with 1 down.
Rightly so. This guy, Andrelton Simmons, is the guy that's kind of bird dogging Pagan at second. Pena has moved over to his more normal position at second base, even a little to his left, because typically Sandoval, left-handed, will pull the ball on the ground if he hits it on the ground.
This would be a scary guy to face right now, I would think. I mentioned his lack of RBI production over the last month, but heating up to yesterday. Another hit tonight. Big behind Pence and ahead of Morse in this Giants lineup. 1 ball, 1 strike for Sandoval.
Had a backdoor breaking ball there that was a very good pitch, just off the plate.
Line drive to right. Hayward is there. Sandoval hit it right on the button, but right at Jason. 2 out.
I mean, right at him. And it's a good thing. It was hit so hard he wouldn't have had time to react, even if he had to move 4 or 5 steps. Pitch that was up.
So Floyd an out away from sending this one to the 7th. He's got to get Morse. Morse is 0 for 2.
Here they are with 2 out now, and runner in scoring position. Something they've been very good at.
And this guy in particular, Morse 6 out of 15 in this situation. And you're right, this guy was a perfect fit for this Giants offense. Big time run producer in the middle of the lineup. And already 8 homers.
This whole division's been a little bit upside down in this fashion, because everybody thought the Dodgers were so loaded they might run off and leave everybody. But who could have predicted that the Rockies were going to do what they've done? So between the Giants and the Rockies, they've made the Dodgers sit up and take notice.
There's a strike. Giants lead by 2 over Colorado. Braves by 2 over the Marlins, who are playing in Los Angeles tonight. The 2-1 pitch. That's the inside corner. Now 3-1.
Don't give in here.
Fly ball to right. And playable for Jason, I think. Yes, 1 step shy of the padded wall. That ball kept going and going and going because of the wind blowing out, but the park big enough to hold it, and that keeps this game tied heading to the 7th.
No, we're not. Beautiful shot, though, isn't it?
Oh, gorgeous. Perfect night. A good ball game. 1-1. Braves and Giants, 7th inning now. And for the Braves, it's Gerald Laird, B.J. Upton, and Andrelton Simmons.
First pitch of the year in the 7th inning for Tim Lincecum.
The last Giants starter to accomplish that.
They needed that from him tonight, too.
Pop fly into right field. Hunter Pence is over and under. 1 out.
I should say they needed this from him because their bullpen's a little beat up. They're going to try to stay away from Romo tonight if they have to. And Machi was up 3 times yesterday before he ever even got in a game, so he was not available. In fact, they were so shorthanded that they sent Juan Perez down and called another arm up from Fresno. David Huff is here. Fortify their bullpen.
Swing and miss by B.J. Upton, who tied the game in the 5th inning.
See, he can rear back and fog the fastball, but he's just not hitting the spot he wants to hit it with on a consistent basis with it.
He's ahead here, a ball and 2 strikes as the Braves bullpen begins to work with 1 out. That's in the dirt.
And Luis Avilan is up.
Line line toward the gap in left center. That's going to get down and roll for a while. Upton around first and on his way to second, and he'll stand there with a 1-out double. Couple of extra base hits for BJ tonight. And he's in scoring position now with 1 out.
Fastball. Boy, Sanchez ducks a lot. I've never seen a catcher turn his head so often away from a pitch. But besides that, BJ's swinging a hot bat. Let everybody else know what you know, BJ. And something else he should be aware of here is how many breaking balls Lincecum's thrown in the dirt tonight. Be ready to go to third if you get a chance.
Andrelton is 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded out. Still twisting and turning in that batter's box. His last at bat might have tweaked something in his back.
Yeah, I wonder if the plane ride affected him.
Upton's going to try to steal third. The throw down there is going to be late. Sandoval with a diving stab caught the baseball and thought he tagged Upton on the way by. BJ in safely, and this might draw a conversation from Bruce Bochy.
I thought it was a great pitch to run on. First pitch after the double. He had a nice lead. You got to make sure you can make it. And now Bochy will kick some dirt around and wait to find out from his dugout if this is something they want to review.
The Giants fans are seeing the home replay in the ballpark.
Perfect pitch to throw on for Sanchez. Oh, the tag went between his legs. I don't know that they'll be able to overturn that. Went in between the legs. The fact that his arm might hit the leg first doesn't help. The only possibility if it's somehow his glove hit the back foot before the front foot got to the base.
So the outcomes for review. The call can either be confirmed, it can stand, or be overturned. And the key terminology is clear and convincing evidence.
Fans think he was out on the big screen, but I just don't think it's enough to overturn it. What we're seeing. Good throw. Pulled him into the runner a little bit, but he's missed him. And if that's on the back foot, then he's out. Before the front foot got there.
It has to be clear and convincing evidence to overturn. The umpires are in communication with Replay Central. The fans are seeing the same replay you just saw on the video scoreboard in center field. The umpires are watching that as well while they listen to the replay coordinators, I believe, in New York tonight. So the call was safe at third. Will the call be confirmed? Will it stand or be overturned?
Dana DeMuth is the crew chief. Barely caught the ball. And did his glove, did the foot slide into the glove?
So the call is overturned. Clear and convincing evidence that the tag was applied, I'm assuming, Joe, to the back foot. Two minutes and 7 seconds on the review, and Upton wanted to get an explanation as to why he was called out.
Huge play.
So the play overturned. There are now 2 out, and the bases are empty for Simmons, who's ahead of Lincecum. 1 ball, no strikes. Foul ball back, evens the count at a ball and a strike. to center, and Pagan will gallop in. And Tim Lincecum is through 7 innings with a little help from replay. 7th inning stretch. Still a 1-1 game. Those are our great clips of the game. A couple of solo homers tonight as this titanic struggle between Gavin Floyd and Uncle Rico Tim Lincecum continues in the home half of the 7th inning.
10 strikeouts for Lincecum in front of the sellout crowd. 262nd straight at AT&T Park, and Gavin Floyd on to work his 7th inning, and he has been brilliant again as well.
So a big play in this ball game happened, Tom Hart, in the top of the 7th inning. B.J. Upton thrown out after review, trying to steal third base.
Yeah, B.J. and this entire Braves dugout still in disbelief. B.J. was explaining to his teammates that the tag came between his legs after he touched the bag. No one down here saw a conclusive replay. They're all convinced that he was safe, and that, of course, in a tie game, could be the play of the game.
Absolutely,
no doubt. This is Hector Sanchez to start off the 7th. He struck out and popped out.
I was with them, Tom. It didn't look like the tag got anything but a swipe in between his legs, but on that real slow motion phantom cam, it looked like he may have gotten his back foot first.
That's something I hope that they can tweak, is the dugouts have access to the replay that's being shown, so the managers know exactly what's being seen. While they were showing the replay on the scoreboard in center field of the Upton play at third, the most important part of the play was obscured. You couldn't see the tag because the screen width wasn't appropriate for the replay. And so if there was a monitor of that type in the dugout, then the Braves would know exactly what New York is looking at and making the call on. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a line drive into center field by Sanchez, and the Giants have the leadoff man on in the 7th.
Pretty good piece of hitting here, I believe. A fastball away from him, and he just reached out and covered it.
So Brandon Crawford bats. He's popped out and grounded out.
Let's see if Bruce Bochy asks him to bunt with a left-hander ready to go in the bullpen and another left-handed hitter on deck. I don't know if he would want to run into that situation, but he's always got Brandon Posey in reserve if he needs him.
That's what managers say. If you give your star player a rest, the great thing about having them off the bench, you can use them whenever you want.
Say Brandon, you meant Buster.
There's so many.
Brandon Crawford.
They've only got 8,000 Brandons.
Yes.
Here comes the first pitch to Mr. Crawford, and he swings and misses.
Yesterday, Buster Posey and his teammates went against Clayton Kershaw, but it wasn't their regular lineup. Bruce Bochy had a bunch of his shock troops in there in the bottom half of the order. None of them were hitting over 200. And as one person said, it was a great possibility, great opportunity for somebody to throw a no-hitter against the Giants yesterday. And not only did Kershaw not throw a no-hitter, they beat the Dodgers.
The old reverse lock game.
Yes.
And how about this stat? The Giants have played the Dodgers 10 times already this year. They've beaten them 7 times. That's a big reason why they've got the lead they have in the West. No balls and a strike for Crawford. And pop fly foul. That's headed for the second deck. Right 0-2.
You mentioned the small footprint the stadium sits on. I believe it's just 13 total acres, but that's one of the reasons why these fans here sit right on top of the action.
Ground ball to first. That's off the knee of Freeman. Floyd overran it, and all hands are going to be safe.
Boy, normally Freddie's so sure-handed on a play like this. I don't know what that hit his knee. I don't think it hit his glove. Yeah, it did though. Kind of like a springboard shooting out of there. So he saw Floyd coming over, thought maybe he was going to go retrieve the baseball. Miscommunication there.
Yeah, I thought knee when it bounced out the way it did. But it did hit him in the leather, and all hands are safe for the Giants. And that's an error on Freeman. And Tyler Colvin is the hitter for the Giants. First and second, nobody out.
Boy, that really hurts. That had a real good chance of being a double play. Step on the bag, tag him out at second.
Colvin, Hicks, and then the pitcher spot for San Francisco.
With all due respect to Tyler Colvin, who's already hit a ball into the water tonight, this is the part of the order. If you've got first and second, nobody out for the Giants, it's the part of the order you want up. Colvin just got called up. Brandon Hicks is hitting under 200 in the pitcher spot.
The Giants bullpen will begin to work. There's the good breaking ball. It's 0-2. It's Jeremy Offel. Sanchez at second, Crawford at first. Colvin behind 0-2. Ground ball past Freeman and into the right field corner. Sanchez will score. Crawford around third. He's getting the green light. Streaking for third is Colvin. He's got a triple, and the Giants have taken the lead.
Not a bad pitch and in the center of the plate, but it was down, and he hit a bouncer, but he hit it hard enough to get it past Freeman and into the corner. And in this corner, it's a long way to go to get the baseball and plenty of time for somebody to circle the bases.
What a night for Colvin. A homer and a triple and all 3 Giants RBIs. So Now Brandon Hicks with the infield in. Strike one.
Triple was on an 0-2 count.
Fouls that off his body. It's now 0-2. So, Joe, now the Braves have the unenviable task of trying to come back against one of the best bullpens in baseball. This Giants relief corps has given up very, very little.
They pitched 9 innings in the series in Atlanta and did not give up a run. But how this game really turned on that call at third base. And B.J. Upton was called safe and then overruled.
Nothing and 2 from Floyd. And a line drive into center. Another hit on an 0-2 pitch. It's 4-1 Giants.
Bruce Bochy told Brandon Hicks when he started playing on a regular basis in the absence of Marcos Scudero, he said, I don't care if you strike out. And what a great thing to tell this guy who has a reputation for striking out, that it doesn't matter. You just keep swinging. And it has really helped him. I know his batting average has been down. And as I said a minute ago, this is the part of the order you want up there. And boy, have they done the damage with an 0-2 count.
4 straight Giants have reached here in the 7th. A single, an error, a triple, an RBI hit, a triple and single. Both coming on 0-2 counts. The Giants have a big inning working in the 7th. And Lincecum will hit for himself. Hicks is running, and Lincecum sprays one foul toward the Giant pen. Lincecum tried to bunt and is struck out. So that's the 8th strikeout for Floyd. 1 on, 1 out. We go back to the top of the order. And that'll be the last pitch of the game. Gavin throws. Floyd pitched brilliantly into this 7th inning. Couple of big plays in this 7th inning. One while the Braves were hitting, one while the Braves were fielding, and turned the tide in the Giants' favor.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by the Georgia Lottery, Toyota, and AT&T.
Top of the order for the Giants, who continue to hit here in the home seventh. 3 runs are in, and it's Angel Pagan facing Luis Avilan. And the first one, a comebacker. Streaking around second is Hicks. He'll make it to third, and the Giants have him at the corners with 1 out. A 3-hit night for Pagan.
First outing for Avilan in 5 days since he faced the Cardinals and gave up a run on 2 hits on the 7th of May, and he's greeted rudely here. Game for Luis.
Pence is 0 for 3. Four runs, 8 hits for the Giants. A run on 2 hits for the Braves. Both teams have left 3 men on base. And Pence corks one into the stands foul. He's behind 0-2. .210 consecutive games for Hunter Pence. He's played every inning of every game for the Giants this year. Avilan trying to make him wait. Giants took a 1-0 lead in the second on a Tyler Colvin homer, the 25th homer by the Giants in the last 18 games. Braves tied it in the 5th on a B.J. Upton solo shot. And 3 across so far in the 7th for San Fran. Braves had a great chance in the top of the 7th inning. B.J. Upton doubled with 1 out, tried to steal third, was originally called safe. Wisboshi contested the call. It went to review. The call was overturned. Upton was out, and the Braves rally died there. Here in the 7th, a single, an error, a triple, another single. As San Francisco back in front. Pence fought that off and fouled it into the Braves dugout.
It was a huge error, too.
Yeah.
Very costly. Hunter Pence plays this game with almost childlike enthusiasm. He's like watching a little leaguer up there. You throw it, I'm swinging. I don't care where it is. And he'll take some funny hacks, but tough out.
Pence broke in with the Astros, a season and a half with the Phillies. This is his 2nd full year with the Giants. Runner at first goes, and Pence pops it foul straight back. And he's fighting hard, 0-2.
Remember 2 years ago, I believe it was 2 years ago, when they rallied, they were down 3-1 to the Reds. And he kind of rallied the troops. It was a best of 5 perhaps, and they were down 2 games, and he rallied the troops in the dugout, created a battle cry, came back to win. Did the same thing in the NLCS. Fell behind.
And his best year in the big leagues last year with the Giants, 27 homers, drove in 99 and scored 91 runs. Also had a career best 178 hits. And a roller foul. The duel continues with Pence and Avilan. That's 6 straight foul balls off the bat of Hunter Pence.
Again, he's going to swing it no matter where it is. He's not taking anything, and he's not leaving anything to chance. Luis is just not throwing it far enough off the plate to keep him from reaching it. Tried a 94-mile-an-hour fastball in on his thumbs, and he fouled that off.
One ball, 2 strikes. Laird's return throw to the mound bounced off the front slope.
That was a double clutch one hopper.
Little pop, shallow left, playable for Simmons. He's got it. That is the second out of the inning. Runners hold at first and third for the Giants, and that'll bring up Sandoval. He's the 8th man to hit in the frame. Good battle by Pence, but Avilan won it. Now he's got to get Sandoval. He's 1 for 3. Like it'll be outfield for the Giants to start the 8th inning when the Braves come up. Pitcher spot, then Pena, then Hayward. Now the first 3 hitters do.
Avilan's only 11 pitches, 1 to Pagan and 10 to Pence.
Runner goes. Laird fakes the throw to second. And Pagan has his second stolen base of the game. That's 8 for the year. Now a hit to bring home 2 more for the Kung Fu Panda. Ground ball slowly toward short. Simmons gloves and guns to first in time. And that retires the side. The Giants score 3 times on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits and a very big error.
Georgia Power, The Home Depot, and Zaxby's Indescribably Good.
Well, this score anything but golden for the Braves tonight. Giants lead 4-1 through 7 innings. Here's your Subway box score.
B.J. Upton's the guy that's had the good night. He's accounted for all the Braves' hits.
Tyler Pasternak grabs the bat. He'll hit for Luis Avila. Tim Lincecum's back out there for the Giants. Should he have any trouble, Affeldt is ready in the San Francisco pen. A milestone start for Lincecum tonight. First time he's thrown a pitch, as Joe said, in the 7th inning. He just threw a pitch in the 8th. With all the heavy work they had to do in that Dodgers series, and specifically last night, you're right, this was a huge lift for the San Francisco pitching staff. 2 balls, no strikes. Braves need runners. They need a bunch of them. 2 hits. They've earned 3 walks. They've reached on an error. And that one found the mark. 3 balls and a strike. That one popped the glove at 88. Full count.
Tyler had a tough day yesterday. He was 0 for 4, but he hit the ball on the nose 3 times and right at people.
And he just took called 3rd strike.
That was understandable. He was a little upset. That looked a little high. And was.
What a job by Sanchez to steal not 1 but maybe 2 strikes in that sequence, and earned Lincecum his 11th strikeout of the game. Wow. Here's Pena. Pena's walked and struck out. Ground ball, second base, long throw, 2 out.
Braves signed Brandon Hicks as a shortstop. He's been forced into duty here at second base with the injury to Scudero, so when he makes a play up the middle like that, he's still got a shortstop's arm.
You bet he does. So back to the top, and Jason Hayward. He's walked and reached on the Morse error. That was the bouncing ball that hit the base and hit the shoulder of Michael. He also struck out. That was in the 3rd inning.
Juan Gutierrez has joined Affeldt. And now Affeldt's going to sit down, and it looks like Javier Lopez is going to get up and begin to loosen.
$41,438 tonight. And many of them are on their feet, wanting to see Lincecum finish the 8th with a flourish.
By far Lincecum's best outing of the year. 2-hitter, allowing only the solo homer, the only run. His best 2 outings of the year have come at the expense of the Atlanta Braves.
112 pitches for Lincecum, the most he's thrown in a game this year. And he lost Hayward. So Jason trots to first. He's walked for a second time. Lincecum's issued 4 of those. And for the moment, this crowd is quieted as Justin Upton stands in. And will that be all for Lincecum? Yes.
Look at his teammates running to him.
Outing far and away by Tim Lincecum tonight against Atlanta again.
Well, as we were told, his best breaking ball of the year, and he used it. He threw a ton of breaking balls tonight and change-ups. Got the Braves again for the second straight start against them to chase some bad pitches, but his breaking pitch was the one that did most of the damage tonight.
So Tim Lincecum's 11 strikeout performance, our Volkswagen pitching performance. And now he'll turn things over to the Giant bullpen. Juan Gutierrez is the first man out. He'll face Justin Upton with Hayward at first and 2 outs in the Atlanta 8th.
Told you their bullpen was a little thin. This guy has not pitched. I take it back. He pitched at LA and gave up 2 runs, but has not allowed an inherited runner to score.
Broken bat. Morse to his right. Pitcher to the bag. And the Braves are done in the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, a man left. Lincecum in good shape tonight, leading 4-1 in the 8th. Park. Got 3 late runs to chase Gavin Floyd, and they lead game 1 of the series 4-1.
Yeah, of those 3 late runs, only 2 were earned after the error by Freddie Freeman. Tyler Colvin, in his return from Fresno, got things started with a bang for the Giants with a splash home run to right field in the 2nd inning. B.J. Upton has accounted for the only 2 hits of the night for Atlanta with a home run and a double.
That's our Georgia Power game summary, and as we promised you earlier, we have our AT&T fan photo of the night. Tweet your photo to #SouthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T.
A couple of fans tomahawking.
So David Hale grabs baseball. He'll pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. He's got Michael Morse in there first. And the big Giants first baseman takes inside ball 1.
Great numbers for David, both as a starter and now a reliever. Four appearances out of the bullpen, has not given up a run in 7 1/3 innings. And in his last start, he worked 8 innings, gave up a run in the 1st inning of that start. So he's got a stretch of 14+ innings working of shutout baseball.
David, part of that remarkable first 4.5 weeks for Atlanta's pitching staff as a Braves starter, but now picking up big innings in relief. He'll try to hold them right there and hope the Braves can come back in the 9th inning. Behind Morse, 3 balls and a strike. Bullet, surrounded by Simmons, and he makes the peg to first in time. 1 out.
He's a platinum glove winner, you know. And Gold Glove, yes, I was right the first time.
Yes, you were. There was a comma in
platinum
there.
Comma. That's one that most guys olay. They just kind of go to one knee and bend and get out of the way. But on your Home Depot tools from the dugout, most guys wish they were in the dugout when that ball's hit at them.
Sanchez, he unloads to deep right. Hayward's going to play that one off the fence, and he played it beautifully. A long single by Sanchez, who's got a 2-hit night.
You know, that ball was hit so hard, I didn't realize it was hit so deep, and I thought Jason lost it or something, that he just misjudged it, but he knew exactly what was going on because that ball was hit like a rocket and played the carom perfectly.
Brandon Crawford's the batter. It's getting late in San Francisco. The seagulls are beginning to circle. Some of them perched in the upper deck. That's pulled foul and out of play. Got a lot of great vistas here at AT&T Park. There's the bleachers with the big baseball glove out there, the Coca-Cola slide. Talked a lot about how this is such an intimate setting. The Dockers deck out there. Saw a foul ball hit into the loft area in the right field corner. Ground ball foul at first.
And into the only mistake they made.
They forgot him.
They forgot the bullpens. and had to kind of squeeze him in.
You know what they call that area here?
No.
The poop deck.
Up there where the gulls are, yes.
We were talking with Tim Hudson before the game, and he had Joe and I in stitches. It is hazardous duty in late innings here in Frisco. We'll see it in a few minutes. The Birds somehow know when the game's about to end, and they just start circling above the outfield. And Tim said he was minding his own business, watching the final out of a game, and all of a sudden, well, a little gift from above from one of Mother Nature's fine feathered friends. He said, I might ought to bring an umbrella.
He said it was so large I thought somebody had thrown something at me from the stands.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. The throw by Laird is a beauty. And in time, they strike him out, throw him out, double play. Sends this game to inning number 9. 4-1 Giants. Last call for the Braves at AT&T Park. SunTrust shining moment. Big night for B.J. Upton. In fact, he's accounted for all the Atlanta offense.
He had a great pitch down and in, right in his wheelhouse. And again, the Braves have scored 1 run in each of their first 3 games against the Giants, and only 1 so far tonight.
So a couple of changes for San Francisco. Joaquin Arias takes over at third base. Left-hander Javier Lopez will come on and pitch for the Giants. This is his 14th game, and they'll have left-hand hitting Freddie Freeman to tangle with first. Sergio Romo is the Giants closer, and he is up and pitching in the Giants bullpen.
You just got to figure if they were trying to stay away from him tonight, even though he's warming up tonight, that they would try to see if Lopez can just go through the inning unscathed and not have to use Romo. He suffered his first blown save of the year yesterday in L.A. Henry Ramirez hit a 2-run game-tying homer in the 9th.
So Freddie Freeman starts the 9th and takes a called strike. That sweeps off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. well out of play. It's now 2-2.
Awfully tough on left-handers. That sidearm delivery. Tough to hang in there. Lefties are just 1 for 16 off of him. It's interesting though. 1 for 16 and only 2 strikeouts.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Way off the plate.
He normally is a specialist, comes in, face 1 or 2 left-handers, and then takes a hike. But tonight, they thought that he might have to actually pitch a whole inning, even if it was 3 right-handers, to try to save Romo, and a couple of other guys in the bullpen have been used a lot.
Another fly ball foul. This is the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Braves need base runners in a big way. And a high fly ball hammered deep right field. Pence will turn and watch that one sail out of the ballpark. So Freddie Freeman has a splash hit. A long homer to lead off the 9th inning, his 7th of the year, and the Braves are down now 4-2.
Teams make such big mistakes trying to sneak balls by him inside. Boy, was he quick on that. A no doubter. And as a result, Romo's going to have to work tonight.
So Zaxby's indescribably good play brings the Braves to within 2. Atlanta's not done yet in San Francisco. It's a 4-2 game with nobody on or out in the top of the 9th inning. So Sergio Romo is on for the Giants. Freddie Freeman led off the 9th inning with a solo homer. And now Romo's got to get through Johnson, Laird, and B.J. Upton.
19th game already. He was in all 3 games against the Dodgers and suffered the blown save yesterday.
That sweeper. It's 0-2.
that walks and hits for innings pitched, that whip statistic. He has the second lowest whip of any active pitcher in the big league since 2008, second only to Koji Uehara at 0.91.
To second. Hicks played the hop well, and there's the first out. So Brandon Hicks with the assist. He's also the subject of the AT&T Universe Trivia question. 7 homers for Hicks. Named the last Giants' second sacker with a 25-homer year.
I'll stick with Kent.
All right. I'll say Robbie Thompson, just to spread it out a bit. Let's see if we got it right.
Ray Durham. Wow.
Forgot about Ray Durham.
Ray Durham.
Here's Gerald Laird. Another chance for Hicks. Romo is an out away. So B.J. Upton's the final Atlanta hope. He has 2 of the 3 hits. He's homered and doubled. Braves fans can only wonder about how differently this game might have turned had he not been subject to review in the 7th inning stolen base attempt at third base.
It's pretty much his best fastball at 88 right now. He's kind of running on fumes, but he's still got that awesome slider. You just hope he makes a mistake with it.
The Braves down to their final strike. One ball, 2 strikes. Inside corner, and Upton is called out. And Sergio Romo shuts the door on Atlanta in the 9th inning. And the Giants have beaten the Braves again. Tonight's final at AT&T Park. San Francisco 4, Atlanta 2. Back to talk about it right after this.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.